Welcome back to another triathlon podcast brought to you by Mana Apparel. This week, we've got something so exciting. We have got one of the greatest in the sport at the moment, Gustav Iden, joining us for our episode 100. It's pretty hard to believe that we've been going at this for about 2 years now, and it's exciting to have such a personality and talent in the sport coming to join us. But first, wanted to say thank you and congratulations to you guys, Josh and Fede. How crazy is this? 100 episodes.
Uh, can't believe it. It's amazing. I mean, it feels like it was yesterday, honestly. And
Mhm.
when we were talking before recording this, and Josh mentioned it, I was like, "Wow, we've come a long way." So really, really excited and happy to share this journey with you guys.
It's crazy to me. I barely knew anything about triathlon when you guys let me come on the show and do
We
that crazy segment about social media post of the week or whatever in episode 3 or whatever it was. And man, you guys forced me to learn the sport and really get myself involved in it. And now it's my full-time job and I'm getting faster at the same time. So I've said it to you guys both off the air, but I mean, thank you for everything you've given me in this sport and life and everything. It kind of started with Jenna and Fed inviting me on the show to do one episode and see how it worked out.
Yeah, it started with little cartoon images on the front of our podcast episodes and just kind of geeking out on triathlon. It's been so much fun to be able to catch up with you guys every week, see how your training and lives are going, how you fit it all in, and then just geek out talking about pro sport, which we'd all be talking about anyways. We just hit record.
Our
might as well.
WhatsApp chat has gotten a little more frequent as we get further into it, and Jenna keeps dropping 100-mile rides on us. And
Yeah,
Got to make you guys work a little bit.
yeah.
but man, this interview, you guys are in store for a treat. This was we have talked about who can we get for our 100th episode, and we always dreamed of one of the big names, and if we had somebody to interview, it would be great. But to be able to have Gustav on for our 100th episode, it was as good as it gets. And the interview itself is phenomenal. He's as funny and personal as you would hope and you hear on his own shows and stuff. And yeah, what a way to celebrate 100 episodes.
Yeah, he was super open and just willing to chat about everything, which we appreciate, and definitely one of the fun personalities in the sport. So I think we'll call it there. I'm looking forward to the next 100 with you guys. But until then, let's celebrate this 100th episode with Gustav Iden. Take a listen. As mentioned, we've got a very special guest for our 100th episode here with Gustav Iden joining us on the podcast. And as always, joined by Fede and Josh. But let's get started by saying hi. Gustav, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's all good. Mondays, as we're recording this, is a pretty chill day, so feeling well rested.
That is always good to hear. So whereabouts in the world are you right now?
Now I'm recording from my bedroom in Bergen, Norway, and it's actually sunshine outside. So and every day it's sun in Bergen is a good day. So that's it's good.
What does an easy recovery day sound like today on a Monday?
It's usually always swim. And then today I did 40 minutes of running and then some light stretching and some mobility work. And then some meeting and stuff. But yeah, pretty relaxed.
Yeah, that actually easy, not like easy 200 kilometers.
Actually easy, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
if you're feeling fresh, then you might put in like 1 hour run, 1 hour bike on top of the swimming.
Mm.
So then it's more like a normal day. But if you're feeling like you need it more, then just swim and a run.
Yeah. Is that up to you to decide? Like go up to an hour and then 40 minutes to an hour and then up to you?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, as you might know, I'm self-coached now. And with self-coached, that means that basically we have a squad of 3, me, Kristian, and Casper, who makes the training together, all the 3 of us. and we try to make it work for everyone, but we do also a lot of individualization. So, for example, Kristian had a pretty tough day yesterday, and tough not in a hard day, but it was, yeah, he had to DNF the bike ride and skip the run as well. So today he will then try to recover for tomorrow, because tomorrow is another hard day. Well, I also had like a bit of a tough day, but I managed to push through okay. While Casper, he was flying, so he might push a little bit more volume also on the easy day, just to balance it out, so we are more synchronized for the session tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
so we definitely know the three of you have been training and racing around the world together. When did you decide to make that switch from being coached to the three of you coming up with this training plan together?
Yeah, it's been cool with the three of us traveling and racing. So we have actually been training together so much in the past. And for the triathlon nerds, you might remember 2018 when we came 1, 2, 3 in the World Series in Bermuda. So we have a long history together, the three of us. But the decision to really, yeah, go back to the roots and go more together didn't come until the December last year. So we wanted some new challenges, especially me and Kristian. Been training under Olav for a really long time, and coming from Arild even before that. So yeah, having two very scientific and good coaches, learned amazing bits. Like, we have learned so much, and that's one of the reasons why we also dared to take on this quest, was because we really feel that they have given us so much. And Olav, he was ready for a new chapter in his life as well. So he's now with Uno X, the Norwegian cycling team, and they're doing, yeah, a great success as well. So it's cool to see him thrive there. But yeah, it was, I think it was a good time to do it. If you are in a relationship for a long time and it's, yeah, I wouldn't say starting to sour, but kind of people are having different interests and you push it too far, that's when the unfriendliness come in. So I think, yeah, we really managed to get the best out of all of us, and had some amazing success. But it's always time for new challenges, and it's yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah,
I
you
think
mentioned that Bermuda
we'll,
race, and that's actually when you kind of came on my radar, the Norwegians coming up in there. Did you guys expect that result at all? I know World Triathlon didn't. They had to try to source a third flag because they didn't expect three Norwegians on the win or on the podium.
I mean, we did talk about it, but when you talk about these things in a group, it's more like it's, I wouldn't say crazy talk, but more like half talk, half dreaming.
Yeah.
So it was not like a complete surprise, because leading into that race, we were all in really, really good form, and had a great altitude camp in Sierra Nevada, and really preparing for this race. We had, like, it was the first race in Bermuda, but we tried to look at the course through Google Maps and stuff, and yeah, really tried to. Oh, was there some sound from me or no?
No, it was
Okay,
you're good.
I can just start from like a little bit before.
Perfect.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, going into that race, we really looked onto kind of, yeah, Google Maps, and saw the course profile, and tried to make a course in Sierra Nevada to really simulate how we thought that race would be. And we have done it a little bit before, but that was really the first time we tried to build our sessions geared towards like a specific course and what we thought the demands of the race would be. So we really came into that race super well prepared, and I think that's part of the reason why we really excel there. And yeah, but having three on the podium when none of us really have done anything major before, it was still a big surprise.
Kudos to Google Maps, apparently. That's a first in triathlon, I think I've heard. It's certainly course recce's and things like that, but that's a different level from from all the way up in Sierra Nevada, and then you created your own course and kind of rode it on a daily basis, huh?
No, we built like the Bermuda session. I don't remember it exactly, but the cycling course there, it's reasonably flat, and then you have like a really steep hill, the Flora Duffy Hill, I think it's called now. But so it was, I think it was like 5 minutes of threshold, and then 40 seconds of really high power, and then just repeating it for an hour or something. So it was very specific.
So you, speaking of throwing it back a little bit, I want to go back a little further, only because you threw it out there to the world today when your buddy shared the duathlon photo from 2013.
Yeah.
Why don't you kind of tell us a real quick, because I mean, not every one of us that listens to this podcast is a triathlon geek like we are and have studied your race results and everyone's race results. How did you get to that point in 2018? And obviously now where you're at, we can get into a little bit more, but that 2013 photo looked, I mean, that was pretty epic with the duathlon days.
Yeah, duathlon was and still is super hard. Like the second run is a killer. But yeah, I came from cycling, mostly cycling. That was kind of like the family sport together with my brother and sister and mother and father. That's like we're a cycling family, but also did a lot of running, especially like road runs and some steeplechase and cross country, and have some medals like nationally, but nothing other than that from cycling and running. But I yes, started to dream big already quite early, and my dream back then was to win the Tour de France. But I didn't want to give up running, because running was still kind of a big part of me, and I knew if I was gonna win the Tour, I couldn't be running on a daily basis. It just had to be ride. So instead of sacrificing my running, I got the hint of maybe triathlon was a sport for me. And the National Federation, they had an open gathering in Oslo back in 2010, I think it was. And I was there. I was told by some of or a coach who now, he has not apologized his words, but he said he was mistaken. But he said, the Iden brothers, they will never be anything because they can't swim. And since then, I've been basically trying to master swimming, and been better at cycling and running as well. So it's actually 15 years ago now. It's crazy. I don't feel that old, but when I look back, it's been a long journey.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys had a great career within the short course side of things, but I think most of our listeners kind of followed more on the 70.3 and Ironman distance, and you exploded on that distance. You really had some incredible results. What was the decision to change from short course to actually giving the longer distance a try? And do you feel that distance suits you more?
Yeah, I up until very recently, I really identify myself like as a short course athlete who did long course. It's not until maybe after 2023 I realized that maybe it's only going to be long course from here on, but I still have this short course dreams and ambitions within me. But you have to be realistic as well. I'm getting older, but I think long course is suiting me better. And it was actually, I did my first half or 70.3 already back in 2016 in Norway. And I think that was when the first time I really realized that the TT bike and the longer run actually suited me very well. I think I ran like a 1:11 there after a decent bike, and obviously overpacing quite a lot in the start of the run and fading towards the end, but barely made it to the finish line. But I guess that's all like the eager ITU guys' story of the 70.3. But the real switch, I guess, happened in yeah, 21, 22 after Olympics. That was kind of successful on my part, but nothing amazing, just like another day. And with Kristian's win there, it was kind of like a team success. But yeah, so I would say like 21, it was kind of the decision to really, really go long course. But I'm still, yeah, maybe I'm hoping for more within the short course, but I think it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody can do it, it's probably you. And but I wanted to talk to you about cycling. Is probably your first love, and tell us a little bit about your cycling love and where did it came from.
Yeah. So cycling, it's just fun, you know, and especially the speed and the efficiency. It's amazing, and it's something about the mix, about being free and don't think about too much, but also you can really, really dig deep and think a lot about equipment choices and tires and aerodynamics and position. So it's both that part of being wild when it comes to cornering and being efficient there, and also smart with equipment. And so it's just, for me, cycling has everything. What I don't like about the pure sport of cycling is like sometimes it's too much team politics, and yeah, you have to be liked by the DS to get your role within the team, and even if you are great, they might put their money on someone else. So it's yeah, cycling is a great thing to watch, but for me, I think cycling would be maybe too team structured, and I couldn't do whatever I liked all the time. But with triathlon, you still have that aspect of cycling and really tinkering with your bike and figuring things out. But you're free to do whatever you like. You might be last if you go too hard on the bike, but you have the opportunity to do it at least, which is a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking about tinkering with your bike, uh, some of your posts are pre-race, and you have this crazy bike position or this random setup. How much of it is actual Gustav Iden input in trying to be better, and how much of it is you trolling with the rivals and getting in their heads and be like, "Oh fuck! If Gustav is doing it, I should do it."
I don't think I ever done like intentionally trolling or taking a picture and thinking, okay, this is gonna mess up with them. But when I first have like a post, I know like, okay, this is gonna fuck with some people. Like some people are not gonna think this is legit. But for example, my position for Hawaii and last year, it was like a legit position. That's what I was riding because it was the fastest position for me at the time. The issue, or like the reason why it was the fastest position, was that because I was rather unfit in training. I didn't hold too much power, and yeah, I just felt weak all the time. I couldn't really put my balls at like, or my energy at having a position that was really powerful, that I could ride a lot of power, but sacrificing slightly with aerodynamics. I just went pure aerodynamics because I didn't have any power because my training was lacking. So now I'm going back to kind of like more an old position of mine, and it's not much slower in terms of aerodynamic, but I can push much more power, and it's more like a position where I can play around a little bit more. I'm like not as locked in, so I think it's going to be really good for knees. But yeah, I am not a troll actually, even though it might come across as a troll.
But we love to believe the comedic side. I mean, the obviously the three of you watching your episodes and stuff, the banter is some of the most enjoyable pieces of all of it. We love the knowledge and the nitty gritty and all the testing and everything you guys do, but the comedic side of the three of you, I think, is what a lot of us appreciate. And we were actually talking to Connor from On Your Left earlier today, and what he's trying to do and bring back that comedic side to triathlon, and we're all so dialed in all the time to actually be humans again sometimes and just enjoy what we're doing. So we can appreciate it. And is that something that you guys like talk about all the time, or is it literally just naturally who you the three of you are, and especially the two of you.
Yeah, I think we are quite ourselves all the time. Like Casper, he's been more in the background a little bit, but he's finding himself more and more. And I think he's also, a great character. He just needs to, be a little bit more used to being in the limelight. Of course, it will come when his performances. He's in great shape. I think Kristian, he is a guy who is he's extremely funny, but he lacks the communication skills that come across as funny. But if you know him, and you have to know him very well, then he's funny. Sometimes I also miss out on his irony, but his ability to communicate and the timing is not there. But his comedic side is definitely somewhere to be found as well.
So
Sounds
you're
like
saying
you're
we
gonna
need to
get
try.
humor.
Oh, I was just gonna say that you're saying we need to work on Christian's delivery, but that the intention is there. Just the delivery needs to be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he needs to go with Jerry Seinfeld or something to really hone in his delivery and communication skills.
Yeah, seems like you guys take sport and performance very seriously, but you don't take yourselves too seriously. You actually have some fun with it and enjoy the training.
Yeah, for sure. Our training is always like number one priority. And if someone comes in the group and try to not make fun of the session, but kind of just are in like a goofy mood when the mood is obviously going towards like, now we have a VTMX session. Now it's no room for jokes now. Then it's like different. But I think we all know each other very well, so we know when to switch on like the serious side and when to kind of be more relaxed with it. And obviously it's days where we don't talk basically at all in training. We just show up and do the work and then go and make dinner. Like it's not always we're talking, but we're with each other so much. So that's natural in any relationship, I guess.
Yeah. You mentioned your position and the lack of what you deem to be your true fitness in Kona last year and the reason for the position change on the bike. With that knowledge, changing the position was obviously done to get the best out of you on that day. Did you still feel like you had a chance based on getting a little bit more aero, or did you know it was going to take a Herculean effort and like the wind was going to blow at your back and nobody else's type day?
Yeah, it's crazy how much you can fool yourself. So actually, I did have some sort of belief kind of on in race week, and you still think that this might be possible. Like Ironman is anything is possible. So you kind of fool yourself a little bit into really believing it if you have like the perfect day with perfect conditions. And I think one of not my issues, but one of my challenges was also that the 2022 victory came so easy in many ways. It's always easiest to win, then you don't have to you don't have to give it all to win sometimes. You just win naturally. But if you come second and you're happy with it, that's not good at all. So if for second, then you're always fighting to catch first. So I think my win in 22 kind of make me think that I was invincible in some ways, because the training going in there obviously it was very good, but it was nothing insane. And my training going in there in 24 was much worse. And but Kristian had basically the same as I did in 22, but he underperformed extreme as well. So I think I did believe, maybe not the victory, because I was certain that Kristian was going to win, but I still believe that the top 5 was possible. But looking back now, it's insane to think that. Like I didn't have any sessions over 30K, and I think like 24K was the longest sessions I did. So I think looking back now, it's crazy.
And I've been kind of wondering, you guys are targeting the Ironman Pro Series this year and traveling around together, training together. What is the headspace like going into these races, knowing that potentially your top competitors could be the two guys that you're training with all the time and racing against? Like how do you kind of deal with that mentally, I guess?
Yeah, we are quite used to it now. We said before the start of the season that it's going to be at least one Norwegian on every podium where we're racing. And it was a surprise for all of us that was me that ended up doing the work in Oceanside. But that was good. I saved the team honor. But yeah, racing with Kristian and Casper, who is maybe my main competitors, it's definitely an advantage. We can talk a lot pre-race about tactics and what we think will require to win there. And obviously, like if I come second and Kristian wins, he has a better race than me. But that's not because he was doing something like magical in training. It was just because he was better than me. So it's not like any hard feelings. And I think that's kind of what drives us the most as well. It's obviously to win, but to win, you really need to perform your best, both in training and in racing. And it's not like I want to just win a race with low competition. I want to race the best in the world. And Casper and Kristian is the best in the world, at least some days. So, yeah, I don't see it as an issue. It would be worse if suddenly Casper decided to keep secrets within race days. Like if he, the day before the race, shows up with like a different equipment, or he dodges like the last swim session to do swim on his own, like that is much worse. But as long as we are open about it and yeah, communicating, then I feel like it's a big advantage to be three.
Yeah, I think that's part of the magic of you guys being together for so many years and keeping honest to yourselves and being friends first and then competitors. And because honestly, it feels to me that obviously you want to win, but if it's not your day, you rather have Casper or Kristian win above anyone else, and you're genuinely happy for them. So I think that's a big part of your success. And now that you're selfcoach.com, it's going to be a big part of you guys.
Yeah, and also it shows that obviously every person is different and requires some individualization, of course, but it also shows yeah, great self-confidence in me for that the training plan we're managing ourselves and the day-to-day life, it is the correct way to do it. It's just that I didn't get it kind of everything right this time. It would be way worse if all of us were underperforming. Then we really need to sit down and evaluate what we're doing wrong. But if, as long as the whole group together, as in an average, goes faster and faster, I think that says a lot about the way we choose to do things.
I think we need to figure out the tires and the sealant and the other things that have gotten away a few times. And now I would say I had a pretty good race at Oceanside. You had a pretty good race at Oceanside. I was at the AG1 breakfast. You were at the AG1 breakfast. The next gen formula. I've had mine today. I don't know. Have you had yours?
Yeah, obviously it's good morning. You should have asked me at 6 in the morning. Then the answer would be no. Like now it's 6:30 in the evening here, so yeah.
Nice.
But are you always a morning guy, or?
So I typically will have mine first thing in the morning and then immediately refill the bottle, put it in the fridge so I have a nice cold drink, and then I'll mix it in the morning, and it's kind of just become a routine first thing in the morning. And unless I have a really hard session that I'm going to do early in the morning, I might not have it right away and then have it after. But typically I don't work out too early in the morning either. Usually on work calls and things like that before I work out. So yeah.
We usually like have swim first, and then I don't feel like digestive issues if I do too much. If I had a morning run, which I don't do too much anymore, then I might only do like a glass of water and a banana or something. But since I'm jumping in the water at like 8:15, and I do my breakfast like at 6:45, then yeah, I have the same routine basically every day with a double espresso, AG1, and then some bread.
Awesome. Well, be like Gustav. Go to drinkag1.com and grab yourself the next gen.
There we go. Okay, so I got to ask, obviously you guys take sport so seriously. When one of you has a great performance like Kristian did in Texas, is there any after party or celebrating afterwards, or is it straight to bed, recover, and get ready for the next race in there?
I don't think we have done any after parties in some years. We have sometimes we usually have team dinners. Like in Texas, we had with Shimano and On, and we just meet up with the partners, and because on training camps we're usually quite isolated, and just being me, Kristian, and Casper can become a bit tiring. So at race week, we usually try to meet up with sponsors and partners and have dinner with them. And then I don't think we did anything particular there. I think Marbella, that's going to be the party town
Yeah.
this year. Then we're
That's
going
the
to
way
have
to
a
go.
party. But no, we don't celebrate in that way.
Are you going to be celebrating a $200,000 check party, or like, whose title is that going to be at the end of Marbella?
Yeah, if you're talking about the Pro Series, now I'm pretty far behind already, and it's no chance really for me to catch up to Kristian unless he has bad luck, and let's hope not. So yeah, I hope to perform good on my remaining races. I have 2 full ones and a half one, so of course I can score a lot of points. But to get full score, it's impossible now. I'm not going to do an extra race just to try to get more points in. But as much as I do like the Pro Series and approach there, it hasn't gathered respect as the single day races yet. And that might change in the future as well. The same with the T100. I feel like they were kind of pushing quite hard to call it like a world championship last year. And it might be correct that it's a world championship, but for me, it hasn't really gotten the respect as the one-day races have in Ironman, like in Nice or in the 70.3 World Championship this year. So obviously I want to perform at the Pro Series, but only because that Pro Series performance mean that I have done 5 good races. But for me, all the Ironman kind of honors and respect this year is in Nice. That's where you have to show up to be the king of 2025, I would say.
Absolutely. Now, we put it out there and we've got a couple questions from the audience, things people are wondering about you. So we'll dive into a few of those. And first question we had was, if you had to pick one, Olympic gold medal or Ironman World Championships, which is bigger in your mind?
Olympic gold. Yeah. I mean, I
Every 4
already
years.
have the other ones. I know how that feels, but the Olympic gold, it's something that transcends triathlon. Like most fans of sport know about Hawaii, of course, but the Olympic gold is so universal. Like it's not many people on Earth who doesn't know about it. So that's kind of it's just bigger.
Yeah. And it sounds like you still have some short course kind of ambitions or love for it. Are we going to see you going for LA, or what's that plan look like?
Yeah, like I'm pretty easy going with planning. I have not set. I have of course long-term ambition and stuff, but I'm pretty take things as they come, and if I have an opportunity that comes to mind, or if my run suddenly comes around, because now I'm running way too slow to even think about it, but it's still a few years to go, and if my running training is improving quite a lot and I see that it's a chance and I can maybe increase my running a little bit more and kind of risk it in terms of my Achilles injury, which is not an injury anymore, just I need to kind of watch out for it, then I would definitely try. But so now I'm just way too slow to even think about it.
Such a different sport, really. I mean, it's almost you look at the different athletes. I mean, the fact I think we just talked about Kristian's going to go do a WTCS event in the coming weeks. I mean, that's it's just crazy to go back and forth and then come and perform at the level that you guys do. It's not easy, and not many people can do it. And I think we're in that midst now where you've got a lot of those short course guys like Alex and Hayden and Leo that are in between. And they're making the leap, but they haven't got fully into the Ironman world like you guys have in that distance. So I think they can go back and forth a little easier. One of the questions that we got too was looking back at your career at this point. Is there anything that you would change? Any moment that you would change, handle differently?
Yeah, I think up until 2022, basically everything has been quite smooth. It was pretty easy to be me, and yeah, and had basically good results every year. Of course, not every race was good, but that's how it is. But at least I had a few amazing results every single year for 5-6 years. And then I think the thing I really would have done differently, but it's so hard to know in the moment, was to just kind of take more time off in 23 when my mother passed away. And it was just like, I felt like it was deeper than that. Like, of course, losing a mother is one of the worst thing you can experience in life, but it was kind of, I felt in the moment it was even deeper, that I was almost going into like a depression or something similar. So I think, yeah, but again, it's so hard to know in the moment, but to take more time real off and just step more real away from the sport, because I was still so eager to go to Paris and trying to race again and again and again, and kind of performing okay in training, in some training, but be completely off other days, and kind of using the days where I had okay performance to trick myself to think, okay, this is going, and then you have 2 weeks until the next good training. That was not smart, to just be so ignorant to how bad I was feeling. But and then I kind of thought that things were going better. But even last year I had some periods where I was tired and didn't feel like this was me anymore. And I think a lot of it has to do with performance. If I was performing good, then obviously I would be feeling better, because so much of my personality is triathlon, and so much of triathlon is performing. So I just felt like when everything was good in training, then my life was good, but feeling worse in training, that everything was feeling bad. So it's I don't know what like specifically I would done differently, but maybe just taking more time away. But it might not be anything better even, because you never know until you tried it out. But the last 2 years have been it's been so much up and down, and I had at least some good performance. I enjoyed racing in Samarkand last year in Uzbekistan with Kristian, and even coming on a podium there. That was fun. And then the pursuit trying to get back to Kona was fun at times. But obviously when you know the end result, it is not as cool. But now I'm really eager to perform in Nice. So I think like being 2-3 years away from high performance, or like top performance, is not that bad. And in the grand scheme of things, I want to keep going until I really, really feel done. So I think 3-4 years of bad performance is obviously, it's hard at the moment, but I think in 5 years, like, most people won't even remember that I was gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the one thing, you've been at the very top, so you know how to get back there and you know what it takes to get there.
Hope so.
Which kind of leads me to another question here. So there's been tons of discussion around fueling, especially on the bike these days. We got Cam Worth with his saying he's taking in 200 grams of carbs per hour. Where are you guys at on the nutrition side for kind of how many carbs you're taking in on the bike?
Yeah, I've been slightly lower than when I was in top shape. Obviously, like yeah, it's very trainable as well. I think in Kona in 22, I was quite high. I was like 180 something, also on a run, which like a lot of people take a lot of that on a bike, but also I was very, very high on a run as well, which I think I did the best there of all my competitors. Like pushing hard on a bike, it's simpler, but getting it all in a run, that's a completely different story. So I think I will get back up to 180, 190, maybe not 200 for Nice, and then maintaining it for basically the whole race except the swim. But the swim you have to kind of preload a little bit and try to be extra on in T1 as well. So kind of fueling quite soon before and after. But yeah, trying to get up to Cam and do it for the whole race.
Taking on Jenna's point, I got a couple of questions to ask you, but first one is, what are your top 3 things you would suggest to an age group athlete that's between the 430 and 420 mark to get closer to being sub 3, nutrition-wise, training-wise, and equipment-wise?
Nutrition-wise, I would say, yeah, try to eat normal. Like I don't do anything crazy with my food. Like I do AG1 and then I eat quite normal food, but high in carbs, obviously. But other than that, it's, yeah, I think don't overthink it too much. And for training, I would say focus on maybe 3 key sessions around your week. If you're around like 430, then I would say swim is not that important. So maybe have 1 week where you have 2 hard bikes and 1 hard run, and the next week maybe 2 really like focused runs on a focused bike. Not that you can't do more around it, but try to kind of build your week around those 3 sessions maybe, and then yeah, build around there. So what we're saying is like we have maybe 6 quite high intensity sessions a week, and we try to do as much around those sessions without impacting negatively on the key sessions. So obviously a normal age grouper would have a lot more time constraints than we are. We can train the whole day if we want to, and if we thought that would actually make us better, then we would have done it. So yeah, try to train as much as possible around your daily life and still have high performance on those 3 sessions. Not that you have to go super hard on those 3, but it's just that it's very much easier to monitor a hard session than an easy session. You can kind of feel tired in an easy session and still kind of push through in a good way. But if you have a controlled session that it's pretty hard every week and you suddenly feel worse and worse and worse, then you're doing something wrong. So that's why I would say, focus on 3 sessions, because then you have like the mental awareness also around those sessions to see if you actually are improving. And you can't always push through if you're feeling bad there. So maybe that's a good tip. And equipment wise, I would say, maybe try to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to aero. I know comfort is a big thing, but also it can be trained. So try to get a bit lower, maybe stretched out a little bit more if that's your thing. So push aero a bit more because it's so much to get there. Maybe that's not direct equipment, but it's at least like something equipment-wise. And buy on shoes, of course.
Obviously. Speaking about on shoes, on Kona 22, I remember it was before the swim start. I raced as well, obviously way behind you, but it was you were about to go into the pool and you were running because I think the pros were already getting into the water, and I think you were zooming in and everybody was asking for pictures and you were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I need to get into the water."
Yeah.
But that was cool to see that also the literally the champion of the world. It's has some time constraint there before the race. But I wanted to talk about the on shoes. You run on the Cloudboom Echo. Echo 3? Was that the shoe you ran in Kona 22? And what adaptations have you made to the shoe you're running right now, both comfort wise and efficiency wise? Because I know sometimes the most comfortable shoe for you does not mean it's the most efficient shoe for you.
Yeah, so for Kona 22, we had a not very long term, pretty actually short on time to make a shoe. So going into that race, I had actually signed with On quite a bit before, but it was not official and it was kind of a little bit under the radar. But I signed with them, and the ambition was to make a shoe that was faster than the shoe I used previously, which was like a Nike shoe. So I was like testing that shoe and the On shoe, and in the start it was quite a bit slower, and I felt like harder on the calves, and yeah, I didn't want to run with them, and that's when the On team was really like, okay, if he's gonna run in On shoes, because what was crazy with the deal was that I wasn't supposed to run in a shoe that wasn't the fastest shoe that was for me. So like I could run with other shoes as long as the other shoe was actually faster than the On shoe. So the On team was like, okay, the only way for him to actually promote On when we pay him to run with On is to make the fastest shoe in the world. So it was a big team coming together, and we did a lot of testing, and we started with the Echo 3 as like um, the base, because that's quite easy to modify. And we did blind testing with the team. So we had Cloud, or like the Echo 3 with softer carbon plate, stiffer plate, less dense foam, harder foam, and different stack heights and angles, and like some crazy concepts as well that we might implement in the future. But then we found that the Echo 3 with that stiffness and quite a bit higher stack was just incredible for me and my stride. So when we realized that shoe was the fastest, then we kind of made the promotional video. So the promotional stuff for me signing with On was filmed like race week in Kona and published the day before the race, because there was so much uncertainty of what shoe to wear. So that was that story. But now we're like continuously working. Sadly, the World Triathlon and Ironman decided to follow World Athletics when it comes to shoes. So it wasn't the rapid prototyping that we hoped for when we signed the deal, because that was what I really, really loved about On, was the rapid prototyping and being at the forefront myself. I could be telling them ideas like a month, 2 months before, and then the team could get together and not make a production worthy shoes like you see the stitches and the quality control would not be amazing, but that I can have a race ready shoe in a couple of months, which is insane. So we're still doing it behind the scenes, but now we can't do it in a race situations, which is a bit annoying, because I know what's coming in the future, and I know which shoes are just next level, but I still have to wait for it to get approved, and things like when it comes to bureaucracy is always a bit slow, but we're still working closer together to really push the limits, but takes time.
Well, definitely pushing the limits still, because I think a few years ago in Boston, when the light spray was dropped, Helen O'Beary got the green light like on Friday night or Saturday morning before the race on Monday to go ahead and race in them. And I had a chance to wear them this year before the Boston Marathon. I race in the Cloudboom Strike, so appreciate everything they're doing and you helping lead the way for us triathletes.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like secretive or anything, but yeah, we did like a new round of testing in Bergen a few days ago, and yeah, we're still pushing the limits when it comes to the test and new ideas. And I just love how open they are to athlete feedback. That is also very good. So I love it.
How do you choose between the light sprays and the Cloudboom Strikes, like the regular lace shoes? Do you still make decisions which one to wear based on the course itself, or are you pretty much strictly one or the other?
For now, I've been racing mostly in the Strike, not the Strike LS. But yeah, I think for Nice, I will go for the light spray. It's pretty similar, but it's some geometry difference in the shoe. And with my Achilles, I've been a little bit weak in my calves. I'm doing a lot of stretching, but I haven't been pushing the strength part yet because the muscle has been quite tense. But I've been doing more and more leg presses as well now, and I'm starting to really get the strength up there. And you need a little bit more like snappiness and a little bit higher speed for the light spray to really kick off. So my ambition is to run in the light spray for Nice, because then I know I'm running fast.
There you go. Well, we've got a couple kind of quick fire questions before we let you go here, just diving in a little bit more. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten during like racing or training? Have you ever been like stopping at a gas station where you just bonked and you got something bizarre?
I think one of the worst thing I ever eaten was the day after the race in St. George 2021, the World Championship there for the half Ironman, and we did the course just easy to have something to do. Me, Kristian, and my brother, and we stopped at the pizzeria, but it was the most American thing ever. It was like a thick crust and even thicker part cheese. And it was so
Stuff.
horrible. Like that amount of cheese was just, yeah. And a day after a race, you're kind of hungry, but you're feeling like a nauseous kind of way. And that was not it for me. I barely ate half a slice, and we had to throw away basically a whole pizza because we're like, oh yeah, let's get some pizza. And we bought like 2 full ones, but that was horrible. American pizza, sometimes good, most times bad.
Fair enough. Oh, especially after a race there. If you had to race an Ironman partnered with another pro, who would it be and why? Now, it could be someone that'll make you faster or someone that would just be fun to spend the time that it takes to do an Ironman with.
Um, yeah, Casper and Kristian, I'm training too much with, so it's not gonna be them, that's for
Great.
sure. Yeah, maybe Robert Kalin. He's very tall, so it's nice to get a draft behind him. He can pull me on a swim and a bike, and then we run together. I'm a better runner, so I would have more enjoyable running, and I will just draft him on a bike. So yeah, Robert, and he's also a very fun guy, and I can speak Norwegian, so that's also a good plus.
Magnus and Callan, I think, are going to be our 2 most popular answers for the drafting benefits.
But Magnus, he's a little bit harder to speak with because Norwegian and Swedish is pretty simple, but Norwegian and Danish sometimes is a bit worse. But Magnus is also quite easy to speak Norwegian with.
Now, if we added a fourth discipline to triathlon, what would be one that would give you an advantage?
I'm an okay dancer, I would say. I have some dance
Have the
moves.
dance ball go down?
We need to see this.
So that would be point-based, of course. So dancing and singing, I think that's kind of where I would be better than not like the general population, but the general triathlete for sure. Especially dancing, I think most people are quite stiff.
Man,
But based on the points that you get a head start into the swim.
Yeah.
There we go. I like it. We may need to see a battle like that go down at after one of the races
Yeah.
this year.
In Marbella, that's yeah.
There we
Dancing,
go.
That's looking through.
Marbella
da-
dance off.
Dancing with the Stars Marbella edition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now,
love
what's the
it.
walk-up song? We got to figure it all out.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Need to come
Must
up.
be something Norwegian. We have a lot of good music here.
Yeah. Well, that leads into the next question. What is that song that gets you kind of pumped up, whether it's a guilty pleasure song or just something that gets you fired up to race or go hard in a session?
I have a very changing playlist. The one bad thing is maybe that I'm still, I don't know, it's hopeless, but I'm still a big fan of Kanye West. He's crazy, even more than before. But yeah, you have to separate the art and the artist,
Hey.
you know.
He has some good gems, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's too good to not listen to him, even when he's crazy town. Yeah.
Crazy town for sure.
Last question or quick fire. What is a piece of advice that you've gotten over the years that's really resonated with you?
I think like I made it into my own a little bit, and my own slogan is kind of winning is a choice, and I use it more in the day-to-day life where like it's a choice to go to bed at 9 and wake up well rested, and it's a choice to go to bed at 11 and not be well rested. So everything you do throughout the day, even though you don't feel like you have a lot of choices, but basically everything is a choice. You just have to be aware of it and aware of your ambitions and your goals. It's okay to go to bed at 11, but then, yeah, you have to expect less. If you go to bed at 11 and I still expect more, that's where the issue comes. So, yeah, I think I've been more accepting of kind of other people's lifestyle, because I know that, yeah, most people, they don't want to spend their life chasing a goal that's very likely not going to happen. But for me, like, I am, yeah, so ambitious still that I'm willing to not sacrifice, but willing to take away a lot of my choices, because everything is it's kind of easier for me, because I'm gonna say no to basically everything, because performance is it all. So in one way, this life is simpler, because you just kind of have like a flow chart. Is it gonna make you better? Yes, do it. No, don't do it. So it's very like simplified, but training is kind of simple as well. Do more and do better, basically.
Do you think you've given yourself enough credit to this stage in your career, or is it, like you just said, is it about optimizing the next performance that you have on the table or on the calendar? Or do you think you have had a chance to look back and say, I've been pretty damn good at this sport?
Yeah, but I think it's if all your conversations is that yeah, I used to be so good, then you're done. Like, yeah, then it's never gonna come back. So yeah, let's re-record this podcast in 10 years.
Yeah.
Then you'll be back in the age group world crushing us there.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I will be an age grouper. I don't think I will be racing. I think more like road tripping on a bike. I so badly want to go on like yeah, what's it called, like bike touring, but to China or something, like a very very long one. And
Yeah,
that's
very cool.
a shared dream together with my competitor Seth Ryder. So we kind of like thinking like, shouldn't we just ride to China? Like, it would be so epic, but of course it's going to take months, and you don't have time for it. And by the time we both are retired from triathlon, then we most likely have families, and it's never going to be time. So I don't think it will happen, but it's still a dream of mine.
It's a good goal.
I like how you said that you don't make sacrifices, because this is the life you chose, and obviously what you do is what you would choose every single day. So I think that's very refreshing, and a misconception that a lot of pro athletes make sacrifices when in fact it's what they want to do, and they do it happily. So it's very cool to see to have you in a good mental health space, back happy, training, racing. So yeah, I'm just happy for you, and hopefully we're gonna see the best Gustav Iden yet.
Yeah, hope so. And yeah, no one is forcing me to do this. I'm paid to do it, but I'm not forced to do it. So it's quite a big difference there.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Gustav, for giving us so much time here to kind of talk about you and your experience in the sport here and give some great advice to the age group athletes. So we will be watching and cheering you on for the season ahead in the Ironman Pro Series as you head towards Nice. But yeah, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.